This occurred at a large chain sporting goods store on Black Friday. Before the sale began, shoppers had been lining up in front of tables covered with cloth in order to get the doorbuster items underneath. The bell sounds, and the cloth is lifted. I'm quickly, yet respectfully, rifling through a table of highly discounted yoga pants, in various colors, when I get shoved pretty aggressively from behind. I ignore it, and continue what I'm doing. Another shove, this time a screechy voice calls out, "Make some room, or move your ass." Now, keep in mind, the table is very large, so it's not like I was hoarding prime real estate all for myself. Karen just wanted in, and didn't care who she had to run over to get it. Rather than make a scene, I wedged against another shopper, allowing her some room to slide closer. I had the last pair of size medium black pants on the table, draped over my arm, looking through sizes of another color, when I felt the pants get pulled off my arm. I looked up and of course, it's Karen, so I said, "Hey, those are mine," and grab onto them, to which she replies, with an obnoxious smirk, "Not until you pay for them," and started pulling them, trying to get them out of my hands. At this point I know it's only going to go downhill, so rather than be on the 6 o'clock news for fighting on Black Friday, I cut my losses and decided to leave the table. My husband, who had been watching from a spot about 20 feet away, was half laughing as he saw me retreat empty-handed and defeated. "Cheer up," he said, and pushed a shopping cart toward me filled nearly to the top. "Here you go." Wouldn't you know, my amazing husband had commandeered the pushy woman's cart while she was busy digging through yoga pants. We smiled at each other, and I happily rolled her cart and all her other Black Friday finds to the other end of the store, then turned her purse into customer service on my way out of the door. Background: I was always the top of my class at my K-8 school, but I had some issues. Tics, quiet, Asian, nerd, you get the picture, that caused kids to bully me for a long time. Most of the bullying was verbal, consisting of rumors and taunting insults. Starting around 2nd grade onwards, kids are cruel. Every day, I go to a teacher, monitor, principal, etc. complaining about the bullying, but their favorite responses were just ignore it. Words can't hurt you. Kids will be kids, and just stay away from them if they're bothering you. Note, this last one was not an option, since I was in the same class, and, since our lunch tables are organized by class, I had to sit with them at lunch. They were essentially conditioning me to keep it bottled up, since my attempts to complain about it were always waved off. Event: in 6th grade, I eventually reached my breaking point. I was tired of being called a nerd, pecker, and being mimicked for my tics. One kid was throwing profanity and slurs at me, and I turned at him, telling him to go F himself, since he'll never get to F anyone else. The kid cried off to the teacher, and I'm the one they called to the principal. I tried to make my case, saying he was verbally harassing me and throwing a bunch of slurs first, and the teacher tells me I should have just ignored it, like she told me to. I ended up getting suspended. The little twat got nothing, and I was pissed at the principal. In a matter of days, I went from the smart quiet kid who never got in trouble to the kid that keeps getting in trouble for talking back to bullies. I got 3 in-school suspensions in 2 months, while my bullies got a good laugh about it. I was put in an anger management program at my school, which would have never happened if the principal did her job, and I still struggle with my temper to this day. Revenge: on my 4th call to the principal, I was being told why I was going to get in-school suspension again. After letting the principal finish, I asked her why my bullies were never punished, and I always was. P equals principal, me equals guess who. P, well, they're just kids. They're just having fun, and words can't hurt anyone. You shouldn't respond so aggressively, and if it bothers you that much, you should just stay away from them. Me, how do you expect me to stay away from them? I'm forced to sit in class with them, eat lunch with them, and they always follow me around. P, why don't you just ignore them then? Words don't hurt you. Me, yelling, well, if you did your duck job in the first place, I wouldn't have had to retaliate. I've had to ignore them for years, because you couldn't be bothered to get off your sorry, but to do something. You have no clue how to do your job right. You're a stupid B. GOF **** yourself. It's so easy to ignore it from afar. See how you ignore it now. P, clearly fuming. You don't get to talk to me like Me, calmed down now with a cute innocent face. Well sorry, I'm just a kid. Kids say stuff, but words won't hurt you. If it bothers you that much, you should just stay away from me. With that, I turn and leave her office. My parents get a call that evening. I never told them I was suspended for speaking in retaliation, or about the bullying. For all they knew I was the instigator, explaining what happened, and what I said, and they tell her that, if she took care of the bullies to begin with, there wouldn't have been an opportunity or reason for me to retaliate. They also threatened to mention her negligence to the district, if the scenario happens again. I get scolded by my parents for not telling them sooner, but they understood why I said and did what I did to the principal. The next day, the bullying continues, but this time, when I went to the principal, she, remembering my parents' threats, gave the bullies in school suspension, and I didn't have to retaliate. They got punished 2 more times before taking a hint, and they left me alone after that. A new kid comes to the school the year after, and he's more dense, but that's another story. I was liquidating a retail store, and our surrounding locations were given instructions to transfer us some of their product. The instructions were made very clear. The product must 1. Be on clearance, 2. Be in its original packaging, and 3. Not damaged or defective. One particular location was under terrible management. As I was sorting through the shipment I received from them, I noticed a defective item without its original packaging was sent to me. I thought, no big deal, I'll take care of it for them. The next hour or so, I ended up with a mountain of their unwanted crap that they were not supposed to have sent me. It was definitely not an oversight on their part. With my boss blessing, I boxed it all right back up and prepared about a dozen or so very large boxes to be sent right back to them. The revenge part was that I didn't notify them of the large influx of incoming shipments they'd be getting. I included my unwanted crap so that I could get rid of it, and I also intentionally didn't include any packing slips with the transfer information so that they'd have a bit of an administrative headache to deal with now. Liquidating a large retail store is a lot of back-breaking work. The time it took me to send their stuff back took about the same amount of time it would have taken me to properly return the product to the vendor. But my way was way more satisfying. I'm at state school, and it is my senior year, so I'm very much over college in the loudness and childishness involved with it. I'm an rap, so I had to live with 2 random people this year. I have my own bedroom and I share living room and bathroom with the 2 girls I live with. One started out very quiet, but has proved to be especially annoying. She kept bringing her friends over to drink in our living room and staying up late when I would be trying to sleep on weeknights. I would wake up in the morning regularly to see that she has friends sleeping on our living room floor, and sometimes it would be spooning couples. On top of all of this, she is a person who completely blasts the volume on the TV when she watches it. This bothered me quite a bit, so I had a friendly talk with her and everything seemed fine until she started ignoring me around the living room. Not ignoring me when I spoke to her, but when I would enter the room and stand in front of her to speak to her, she would always act like she was just on her phone and didn't know I was there. She wouldn't acknowledge me. I found this to be annoying because she had been pleasant before. So, my heating and AC is connected to the living room. The moment my heat goes on, it goes on even hotter on the living room side. The windows in the living room only crack, but don't swing open, so airflow doesn't even exist. Last week, I came home after a long day, and she was loudly talking into her phone on speaker in the living room. I wanted to relax, but she kept being so loud. So I opened my window, turned on my fan, and set my heat to 90 degrees. After about 2 minutes, I heard her mention how hot it was. Within seconds after that, I could hear her gasping for air and she moved into the room. When I stepped out there, it was hard to breathe because of how unbelievably hot it was. I ended up turning it off, and eventually she returned and started making noise again. This prompted me to set it to medium, leave my fan on, and go to sleep. When I woke up and went in the living room, it was hellish. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, a like and a comment would mean a lot in YouTube's world. Share with us if you would have done things differently, and don't forget to support the original authors with an upvote. Links are in the description. Peace out, and catch you tomorrow.